Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we're going to be doing my 2023 NBA mock draft post March Madness. Shout out UConn for winning it all. You guys know I go to the University of Kansas, so I got to experience us winning a championship last year, and I'm going to the University of Miami for graduate school this August. So I got to see my graduate school do well. But either way, let's talk about it. Fanspo on their mock drafting, they have right now the top 5 being Pistons, Rockets, Spurs, Hornets, and Trailblazers. I have said that I hope it's either the Hornets or the Spurs that win the lottery, so I can either see Victor Wembanyama playing with LaMelo Ball, or I can see Greg Popovich be able to retire and leave the Spurs in good hands with Victor Wembanyama, Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, and Keldon Johnson as the core. But let's get right into it. Here they have the Pistons winning it, and of course, it's Victor Wembanyama, the number 1 pick. We won't spend too much time there. He's an absolute phenom. We know why he's going to go number 1. If you haven't, you've been living under a rock. Number 2, if the Rockets win it, they get Scoot Henderson. And Scoot Henderson's going to go 2 unless a team, like I could see if the Pistons get the 2nd overall pick, they might take Brandon Miller because they have so many guards already. But I digress. In most drafts, Scoot's going to be there. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the way down below in the comment section. What do you think the top 5 picks are going to be? I personally think it's probably going to be Victor Wembanyama, Scoot, Brandon Miller, Amon Thompson, and then depending on who has 5, it'll either be Jarace Walker or Cam Whitmore. Now, let's go into it. If you did enjoy this video, hit that like and subscribe button. We're on the way to 20,000. So, yeah, I have Brandon Miller then going to the Spurs because he just fits in perfect being the power forward. If you really want to go with Jeremy Sohan or at center, or if you could be the small forward and then you have Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell as your backcourt, which would just be a huge team, or like, you know, there's ways to make that work. Well, maybe Brandon Miller comes off the bench, and there's a lot of ways to see that working. Then Amon Thompson would just be awesome with LaMelo. LaMelo would then probably play a little bit more off ball as shooting guard until Amon Thompson became a good point, like shooter, which we expect. Now for the next couple picks we have right here, let's put them right in front of y'all. My apology. We got Jarace Walker, because now imagine this front, if they traded away Damian Lillard, you got Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, Walker, and maybe Naz Little as like your core right there. Trenton Watford's there. Like that's not a bad core in my opinion. And then Cam Whitmore, he fits perfectly with the Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, Andrew Nembhard, Chris Duarte, Miles Turner thing that they got going there. I think Anthony Black is the Tyrese Halliburton, Josh Giddey of this draft class. Literally, he's a point guard who's 6'7", defense and pass first, rebounder. The only thing he's missing is a 3-point shot, and it's not even that bad. Then Asar Thompson's more of the wing version of Amon Thompson. He's literally looking like he'd be the modern day perfect 3-and-D wing. So Orlando would love him and what they're trying to do there. Utah, they need a defensive first guard, and I think Cason Wallace, who a lot of people are comparing to Drew Holiday's perfect. I had a tough time deciding between Taylor Hendricks or Grady Dick to Dallas if they were to get the 10 pick. I think Taylor Hendricks is a better fit because even though I love Grady Dick because I go to Kansas, Taylor Hendricks, they need, front court. We saw what's happened to them this past season with no front court help, and I think Taylor Hendricks could come in and make an impact. But I wouldn't be surprised if they took Grady Dick. I also would not be surprised if Grady Dick starts to slide in draft projections, because I have said, even though he's a good defender, he is more just offensively, same role as Kevin Huerter on the Sacramento Kings. He's a better rebounder and a better defender than Kevin Huerter, but I don't expect him to be anything more than what Kevin Huerter is on offense. I think Jordan Hawkins is one of the guys whose stocks have flown through the roof. It's like rising because of him winning, a national championship and just showing that he is a dog at shooting the 3-point shot. All right, Keontae George, they're comparing to Eric Gordon. The Jazz, I think they would like him. Then the Raptors take Nick Smith, who's been compared to like a Jamal Murray, Jamal Crawford type. Hawks need a backup point guard, and Jalen Hood Schifino has been compared to Grievous Vasquez, but I see him in the NBA being similar to Quentin Grimes, where point guard, and lead guard in college gets moved to the wing in the NBA, who has some ball handling ability. Kyle Filipowski, he's been compared to as a, not as athletic, but a longer and similar role to a Naz Reid in the NBA, and I think the Pelicans would really like that. I'm pretty sure the Lakers don't get this pick. I think it goes to the Pelicans. Regardless if it's the Lakers or the Pelicans, Jet Howard, one of the best 3-point shooters here, would be perfect. Ryan Rupert, I've seen, and I personally have compared him to OG Anunoby, just a little raw, played in the NBL for the New Zealand Breakers. Really good pick right there. I'd say have the Warriors taking Noah Clowney because he can be, a 5 or a 4, and, they just need front court help, and he's a guy I could see being able to succeed Kevon Looney in the role that Kevon Looney plays. Leonard Miller, former point guard who grew from like 6'3 to 6'10, now is like a power forward. Seen people compare him to Lamar Odom. I personally think this is the guy that you should be going after. If you're the Heat, he screams a Heat player. Bryce Sensabaugh, if Jacques Vaughn continues to be coach, he just fits what Jacques Vaughn likes. Tough, nosed bully, and shows some defensive potential. Dariq Whitehead, I've seen him all over. He could go in the, the lottery. He had some, health concerns, but a modern day 3-and-D guy. If Portland got Walker, I think pairing up Walker and Gigi Jackson would be insane. Chris Murray, hey, if he falls this far, I've seen comparisons to Marcus Morris, and I think the Kings see Chris available at 24. They're going to be like, hey, Keegan, you want to be paired with your brother? And they'll be like, hell yeah. Maxwell Lewis, I think he's a really exciting guy who shows, 3-and-D potential, one of the best shooters in this class. He also fits well with, Cam Whitmore and the rest of the guys with the Pacers. Colby Jones is a guy that I've compared. If you took Draymond Green and Josh Hart and mixed them together and made a wing player, he's got the passing ability of Draymond, the dribbling ability of Josh Hart, and the shooting ability and scoring ability of Josh Hart, and he's a good rebounder. He can play 1 through 4. Quavian Smith right here, I think he's a great player. I think he's a guy who could fit well into the NBA, follow the lines of like Tyrese Maxey. Julian Strawther, he's another guy who with UConn, he's flown up, good 3-point shooter. Pacers, I don't know what their center position is going to look like, but I could see him being a team that goes out and gets Derek Lively, who I think will be like the Duron Sharp of this draft. And then Hami Jaquez is a guy that, I think he can play the 3 or the 4. I think there's a spot for him in the league, and he'll be able to make an impact day one defensively and pass, and, be an interesting player. So we're at the start of the second round. We have, apology if I say this wrong, the man from Santa Clara, Brandon Podizemski. Tell me down below if I said that correctly. Seems like Pistons would like him. He fits what they need. Andre Jackson Jr. I know there's a lot of wings going to the Pacers, but this is a team that wants wings, and it really fits what they want. Spurs, if they miss out on Victor Wembanyama, James Nanji, don't be surprised if he goes in the first round, similar to Ismail Kamagate of last year, who plays for Paris basketball. James Nanji, who plays for Barcelona, could see him going, and the Spurs would be perfect with him with Charles Bassey and Zach Collins and Jeremy Sohan. Then you have Marcus Sasser, who fits, the Hornets. They need a defensive guy, and he would be good with Amen Thompson. Terrence Shannon, another guy who fits with, what the Celtics want. Keontae George would also fit. They have a few free agents for the Kings. Dylan Mitchell, huge guy, kind of fits, the profile players they get. Belial Coulibaly, probably said that terribly. Tell me down below how to say it correctly. Another guy who kind of fits the profile what the Thunder want. Then Sidi Sissoko. Again, tell me down below how to say that correctly. Played for the G League Ignite. Potential. They got Bryce McGowan's, and he looks like he panked out, so I could see that. Tracy Jackson Davis, they're still looking for a backup point guard out there in Denver, so he could be, backup center, so he could be a guy who could maybe be a backup for them. Kobe Bufkin, if the Hornets want to continue getting guards, he fits there. Ricky Council, the fourth, my Wizards need some wing players. Amari Bailey, another guy who fits kind of what the Grizzlies want, and if his defense pans out, it's a really good pick. Baylor Shireman, could be a really good 3-point shooter for them. Nikola Drusic, those Spurs love those foreign guys. Lakers, Jalen Wilson, could be like a Torrey Craig guy for them. Jordan Walsh, 3-point shooter. Tristan Vucevic, European big. Kevin McCullough, defensive guy, fits the Clippers. Amani Bates, Thunder, fits for them. Coleman Hawkins, a guy who can make an impact day one for the Suns who need some front court help. Zach Edey to the Nets, if that happens. Julian Phillips to the Timberwolves, more wing help. We saw how Josh Minot looks good for them. Reese Beekman could be a good guy for the Kings. Kobe Brown, another power forward for the Indiana Pacers to, go with Kendall Brown. Isaiah Wong, another guy fits the Grizzlies. Drew Timme to the Sixers. And then Malcolm Kazalon, who's been in the draft for like the last 4 years and keeps dropping out. I think this is his last year of eligibility. I think he goes to the Bulls. And then I think the last 2 picks are forfeited, but if they're not, Jordan Miller and Arthur Kaluma. So let me hear your thoughts down below, but that's basically going to be it. Peace out.